Hello, all you hardcores out there. How you doing? It's Russ here from Poker's Corner, the biggest gob in sport. We say the things on here everybody wants to say. Now, if that's true, you should look at the bottom of the corner which says pokercorner@mail.com. If you want to come and do a Zoom with me, feel free. Everybody's welcome. Just get in touch. Today we're joined by Sean from Scunthorpe. How you doing, Sean? All right, mate? Can't hear you, Sean. You need to unmute yourself. Unmute. Hang on a minute. I'll write it down. Unmute.
Hi, Pokey.
All right, mate. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you.
Good. What are you on with?
First day at a new job, so I've just been running through loads of bits and bobs.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Good luck with your new job, Sean. I hope you're enjoying it.
Thank you very much. I'm loving it so far, so bodes well.
Have you got a month in hand to do? Is it still all like that?
I'm lucky. I've had 2 days gap between, so it shouldn't matter too much in terms of payouts. So now shouldn't be living off dust for a month, so now I'll be good.
Living off dust. All right. Well, where do we start?
Saudi.
They all came out to the ring, brick top, holding hands with Turkey.
It just gets shameless.
That's what
It just shameless. They want that money so much they're willing to walk around as middle-aged men holding hands. Just embarrassing. It just takes leaving that dignity at the door for some Saudi bag. Jesus.
Right. Let's start at the beginning. Joe Gallagher's guy, the Mohammed Al-Akal, got his first win, didn't he, by the looks of it?
He did, yeah. Presumably one of the first prospects in the gym that Joe's churning out. I dare say if he sticks with Joe, he's going to get well looked after. But yeah, an all right performance debut from him.
Yeah. There's about 40 kids out of 100 in that gym, and it's like a conveyor belt. And Joe reckons they can all win world titles. They're that good.
Blinded. Well, if they've got the infrastructure, the investment, and the knowledge of someone like Joe, bodes well, doesn't it?
Yeah, with that Turkey putting money up for him, and it looks like they've been at it a few years, before it's all come out to now. They're ready to make a big move.
Yeah, they could be the real power players in a few years in terms of countries and nations that are leading the fighting as well as the promotions of it. So, good luck to them.
Well, they're not going to have any oil to sell, are they, in another 8 years or something, innit?
No. They're knocking, instead of knocking out oil, they'll be knocking out cruiserweights, heavyweights, and light heavyweights instead.
Yeah. So good luck to Joe with that kid. Then we move on to Ben Whitaker, Olympic silver medalist, against Liam Cameron, who's just signed for Bricktop today.
Yeah, I think this ruined a few accumulator bets, didn't it? I don't think anyone envisaged
it. Ruined everybody's accumulator, including mine.
Yeah, no one envisaged it ending via WWE. I know we've been talking about it getting more scripted like WWE, but I did not expect this.
Andy back to draw, didn't he? Andy not from Aberdeen.
Did he?
He back to draw. Yeah.
I've said he's a much more wise man than me. Good on him, but I feel sorry for Liam, and obviously he's not been flagged by the cameras all week. But there was something. He was more muted from the off, wasn't he, Ben? He wasn't doing his dancing, his tightrope walking, and taking the pee out of the fighters. And he looked knackered from the second round. And Liam said afterwards that he felt knackered and was holding, and his corner was telling him to hold. And then it seemed like he wanted out. But what a way to go out.
Well, they've all moved quick to sign Liam Cameron, but all the talk were who were going to get Ben Whitaker's signature, or Ben Whitaker, as I call him. Yeah. But they've all gone for Liam, and I'm in a way I'm glad because Liam's had a torrid time. The only thing I'm bothered about is Chris had him from that age of 9, We're right with him through his 4-year ban, got him reasonably fit, and then he done what he's done, hasn't he? So I don't know, but it's worked out for him. So good luck to Liam. If you want loyalty, get a dog. That's what Brick.
No, you're absolutely right. But yeah, I do feel for the gentleman that's been with him, particularly through all that the traumatic times and the handhold and everything else. So yeah, I hope at least he gets a shout out if he does go on to do anything else. But yeah. Good luck to him. I wonder what will happen with Ben. I suspect a lot of his persona around cockiness has just been binned in embarrassing fashion when everyone's saying he's quit. Let's wait for any options to come back about whether he did or didn't, but it's not a good look regardless when you've been that cocky.
Yeah, I agree with you, mate. I agree with you. How did you think Macklin came across coming to Ben Whitaker's defence before? And then it looks like there's been a bit of backtracking because all the Sky lot in the studio didn't come to his defence, probably because they more or less realised they don't want to sign him. But Macklin straight away, Johnny on the spot out there in Saudi, straight to Ben Whitaker's defence, playing the company man. It sort of backfired on Macklin, that, didn't it?
Absolutely. At the end of the day, Macklin's got form for aligning himself with people that end up either not being who you might think them to be, whether it's in or outside the ring, hasn't he? We all know that.
I'm all right, Jack. Matthew Macklin.
Yes, absolutely. I did notice that, and it did make me chuckle, particularly being Matt. But yeah, wonder what'll happen with Ben. Is it for me a little bit? It's Josh Kelly syndrome. They dance around and stuff, but step up against someone who can actually fight a bit, and he got Avanesian a little bit. He was starting to break him down. I mean, you consider that Liam Cameron is naturally 2 weight classes lower when it coming off. He bullied him. He was stronger than him.
Yeah.
So
I think he's a cruiserweight, Ben Whitaker, boiled down to light heavyweight, and I think he's all right with his flashy skills, but he's like Wardley Harrison. As soon as you put it on him, apple crumble.
Maybe that'll be his excuse. He was at the wrong weight and he steps up next time. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe.
Yeah, we shall see.
We will see. I'm just going to cut the chase before we speak about the next fight. Tony Bellew, he's another one that puts his foot in it and goes above and beyond, like Macklin, to put himself in the mix and align himself with certain people like he has done with Matchroom. Everything Matchroom and everything against Queensbury. He now looks on the outside looking in now, doesn't he? Now that Queensbury and Matchroom are as one, we don't seem to be seeing Tony Bellew on the scene, do we?
No, I think him and Big Mal were watching it in a Weatherspoon somewhere because they were definitely nowhere near Riyadh, and nor were they welcome. And I think if they did rock up, Frank would have been smiling as they were escorted off. But yeah, no, he's persona non grata, and for as long as Frank's got that stranglehold, Tony's going to be whinging on Twitter, but he'll not be anywhere near the boxing.
Eddie Hills, Tony's big mate. This is my closest friend in boxing. He's always got my back and I've got his back. He's part of the Matchroom family. I think Dave Allen heard that before, didn't he?
He did. That is the slippiest, most non-stick friendship in the boxing. If you get the seal of approval from Eddie, start looking behind you and checking your purse.
Well, we all remember Daniel Cadman. This is my new best friend until Robin Reed filled him in. And then he was his best friend. Who were the one that were boiled down in the sauna before he fought Devin Alexander? Lee Purdy.
Yes.
He was the other one. He lived round corner from him. He ended up on Skid Row, didn't he? He went down there, can you lend me 50 quid? There were no for Lee Purdy. What happened to friends to the end, like Chucky Eddie?
Friends till you've got no commercial worth for me anymore.
Listen, there's no friends in the sport of boxing, I can assure you of that. I mean, I remember being in many a meeting with Big Ron, and Big Ron had tried to drag Eddie Hills out in a bar on boardwalk in Atlantic City, and then only a few months ago, he were friends to the end. Is all right, Eddie.
And that makes the very, very odd and rare occasions when there is something approaching a friendship all the more real. Carl taking McCracken when he went to the International Hall of Fame because he wanted him there. That's that, but that you can count them on a hand normally, can't you? Because it is so rare. So it's nice when you do see something like that. And like you said before, someone who pays him what he's owed throughout and doesn't leg it when you get a loss. But it's not often, is it?
When Frotch were getting what, £6,000 a fight plus £4,000 off tickets at the beginning, so you're getting 10 grand. McCracken were getting £1,000. When he were getting millions, he were getting 10% all the way through. No matter what, he won with him. You know, he lost a couple. Kessler one, he got robbed in Denmark, didn't he? Ward beat him. He came back. He beat Kessler. Ward won't come to England. You win with him, you lose with him, all the way through. And it's not every fighter's like that, are they really? As soon as there's a chink in armor. I mean, who's to say that Ben Whitaker's going to keep Joby Clayton now? Eats Big Freeze is going to keep Angel and Fernandez and Anders, whatever he's called. There's no loyalty in boxing. You want loyalty, get a dog.
Get a dog, you're absolutely right.
That's a brick top saying that one. Okay, so Tony Bellew's on the outside looking in. Tony, you got greedy. Pop, pop, bang. And you still never beat a champion. Sky Nicholson against Raven Chap. What did you make of that? Poofies.
I only watched some highlights afterwards because I flipped to the BKB while that was on. She's going to hang around at featherweight. There's not really too many people going to beat her at featherweight. She'll probably have to jump up a bit, but I found it really boring to watch. I'm just being perfectly honest. Not my cup of tea. So I've barely got anything to say on it, Porky, if I'm being really honest.
Yeah, okay.
I normally put the kettle on.
Yeah, then we come to Christopher Eubank Jr. against the guy's name, Sounds like something that you put on a rash, doesn't it? Some cream or something.
Yeah, the gentleman coming off a phenomenal draw for the Polish super middleweight title last. And had not had a knockout for 6 years before. But he made it a lot more difficult early on than it should have been. He won. We expect him to win and push over, but it wasn't as easy as we expected. But he got the win, and it sets him up for the most fictitious beef in history next year against the shouty little man, privately educated Connor in a fight of two surnames, if not abilities.
Well, this is how I look at it, right? Crusher, obviously it was all staged, wasn't it? Crusher got in ring. He looked a small man, didn't he?
He did. He is.
And I can't see how he can beat Chris Eubank Jr. He's 7 years younger. That's the only thing he's got on him. Other than that, he's got no height, no reach. He's not a bigger person in size. They might be the same weight on that. They're probably going to get in ring about 172, 175 max.
Yeah.
That's way too much weight on top of the 160 that they'll get weighed in. Frotch used to put 4 pounds on night.
Really?
Getting at 172, he'll be about the same weight as they will getting in ring. Because if you're carrying that too much, you can go too far with it. Canelo puts 20 pounds on after weighing, so you can imagine him getting in ring that is such a heavy weight against Bivol. No wonder he got beat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is what it is, isn't it? But I just think that we have weight divisions for a reason, and fighters, as I've said before, and I'll say it again, fighters are not superheroes. That's why Nazim Ahmed wouldn't be able to fight Lennox Lewis. He's not a superhero.
Absolutely. Yep.
Crusher Ben, Broof, getting all that gangster in there. I mean, has he even got a license?
He must not, certainly not a British Boxing Board of Control. I don't know if they're going to dig one out of the arse end of nowhere for the fight, but it just sounds like he's on a silent ban, and there's mentioned another hearing being taken. I don't know. I'm just so bored of the tediousness of particularly him, but potential fight. But it's going to happen. We're resigned to it happening now. They've had the fake build up before, and then in the ring afterwards, wheeling Neymar out for some reason to mediate. He if they're going to have the fight, get it out of the way. Stick it on a Rio card, and I'll watch something else while they're doing it. Paint dry.
Why did they have Neymar there? I mean, are they all on appearance money, these people?
I don't know if he plays in Saudi, so they pay him to rock up. Because I remember Ronaldo being at one of them things. But some of these celebs, it's about what money they'll turn up if you get paid if they open a flag packet, won't they? So yeah, I presume. Or that, or he likes boxing. But if he likes boxing, what's he interested in Conor Benn or Eubank?
Yeah. I see where you're coming from. The rest of the show is as such. We spoke about Eubank and Camille Ceramita, J.O. Patia, and Jack Massey.
I really do. Again, another example of Joe G looking after his fighters. Jack was getting beat down, brave as a lion, really, really
firing
strong.
back, though. We were firing back, wasn't he?
He was. But I genuinely thought it was the concern and care for him to avoid him getting carried out on his back, because Jay is vicious, isn't he? He's such a solid fighter. He can clean that division up. And I just thought Jack was at the right position then, that he'd done enough. He wasn't in the game. He was fighting back as in he wasn't a sitting duck, but I thought that was good of Joe to save his man for another day, because he's got other fights in him. He's earned good money there. And I just thought it was nice of him what he did. He put the fighter first and not his own trainer ego.
Yeah, he did. And that's what we want to see, innit? Because there's two
Absolutely.
trainers. I mean, Don Charles left Eric Chisora in too long against Fury in that second one, didn't he? Do you remember the second one?
I do, sadly. Yeah.
Okay, so J.O. Patia is a superstar. You give me a bit of a shout out, actually, this morning. Big Richard's in Dubai with him, and he's had breakfast with him next at pool and that. He sent me a WhatsApp video.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so that's gone on. I'm going to stick that on front of the Peter De Freitas video that's just gone to Cameron about 10 minutes ago.
Amazing. I look forward to hearing that and then as well as Peter's insights.
Yeah, Peter De Freitas, fantastic. We've had him on today, 40 minutes.
Perfect.
Really, really good.
I think Peter's known as a hard act to follow, Porky, so I'm not going to try because that man is a legend.
Yeah. Well, he's done a lot in the game, hasn't he, Peter De Freitas? And when he speaks, people listen, don't they? So it's a good school to have him on.
I certainly do.
He's a nice fella, and he tells it straight. So, but J.O.P.T. is obviously superstardom beckons for him, really, doesn't it? Basically,
it does, and he seems a nice fella as well.
Richard said he's a gentleman, an absolute gentleman. But then again, Joseph Parker isn't he? Watches Porky's Corner.
Yeah. No, you're right, Joe. I don't think Joe's got an enemy in boxing, has he?
No, but I'm involved in billboard business, obviously, and the guy who I deal with billboards has met Joseph Parker, and he watches Porky's Corner. He went up and put it on him. He goes, "Yeah, I watch Porky's Corner."
So, brilliant!
So that's good. They all watch it because boxers in olden days they used to get Sheffield Star out and see if they were in it. So boxers have got big egos; they like to know what's said and blah blah blah. So yes, they do watch everything. So.
Good.
It is what it is, isn't it? So with J.O.P.T, do you see him going in with Billum Smith, or do you see Ben Shalom, aka Adrian Mole, keeping him apart?
I'm not sure Billum wins his next fight. So if he does, then yeah, but it depends is Jay going to go down does he want to unify? Does he want to catch up a free belt at a Bridger and then dance to heavyweight? I don't know.
Unifying and all this undisputed, it's all knackers. It never happens. All we see is a lot of talk about it. They want to keep it. They want to keep them earning and keep them picking off easy wins.
Yeah, and there's 4 wheels of the gravy train
until the massive money comes. So it's just pie in the sky talk. Well, they let us have it for one fight in heavyweight history in the last 25 years, and then they've already split the IBF up, haven't they? So I just think we just need to go to one belt to sort it all out. Then they'll all chase one belt, won't they?
Yeah.
And everybody else will be like a number like Ali in that Michael Parkinson interview said, look, You can't say bad things about Joe Bugner. He's the number 4 guy in the world. Ali, you were the main guy. Then you've got numbers 1, 2, 3 to 15. He said he's the number 4 guy. Everybody had a number then, and they were all happy with being a contender. It didn't mean you were a nobody and you couldn't earn money.
Yeah.
Just that everybody had a number. Now you've got everybody and the dad's got a belt, and I think all that needs to stop. And let's go back to saying everybody he's a contender or he's a contender, and work your way up and get your title shots.
Yeah. Like I said, the day I saw the IBF European heavyweight title being fought for in Sheffield, I thought, what even is that? With such proliferation of trinket belts, Jesus. Yeah, something needs to change, doesn't it? But whether it will or not, who knows?
Yeah, okay. So we're now on to the last 2 fights, and they are Wardley against It's Big Freeze. Did It's Big Freeze freeze? Or did he get caught cold?
I think the latter. His head looked weird as soon as afterwards. Do you know, it looked like it had compressed. I don't know if that's jaw, eye socket, but it looked beyond painful. So when it was stopped, part of me thought, good, because it looked an unnatural injury, and I didn't want, because he's such a nice guy, I didn't want him getting punched repeatedly in that. Fabio, he meant what he said about taking on from the 13th round, stopped it quickly, and he's moving on. I don't know what Fraser does at 33 from here, although heavyweights are different in terms of aging. But Fabio is going to be fighting some of the people hanging about in the absence of the belts being too fragmented. He's up there now, isn't he? And all that from Ipswich and the white collar. So I think those white collar jokes are going to have to die a death now, because he's stepped up and he's beat our longest serving Olympic cycle boxer, and in devastating fashion.
Fabio Wardley, from what I've heard on Grapevine, were having tear-ups 10 years ago in his area with the hardest men of the hardest on the hard road as well.
Yeah.
Well, and we're turning up on his fucking own. And there were like big groups from him, and he was turning up on his own.
Well, if he's got that natural toughness and fighting instinct, that's a good asset to have, an attribute.
He's a roadman in my eyes.
Yeah, interesting journey into boxing, but I think it's a good marketing thing for him now. There's not many kicking about like that. He's not come from basically being a full-time athlete via the England boxing program. Good luck to him. I think he could get a good world title shot if he's managed well, and he's with Frank. He's going to get managed well, isn't he?
Yeah. What do you think about It's Big Freeze now? He's 34 next birthday. He's not going to fight now for a year, they're saying. So that means in his 35th year.
The one thing we know about Freeze is that he's a patient man. Obviously, he didn't get on. What was he on? 3 Olympic cycles. It was only on the 3rd one that he did, and he's stuck in there. I don't think he's going to quit anytime soon. But then again, I don't know how he's feeling at the moment. I hope he heals up, and I hope he carries on. If he's made silly money already and can scoot, then great. But from listening to him on the Peter Fury podcast, I think he's going to be around for quite some time. I think he'll just have to rebuild again. But at the end of the day, he's now had 10 fights. He's a novice pro, albeit a 33-year-old. And I know we talk about World Series of Boxing's like being a pro. It's not. The pro game's a pro game. And he's had 10 fights. I hope Shalom keeps him, or he saves the promoter. I hope he doesn't get binned, and I hope he comes back and does what he can achieve. Can he win a world title? Probably not. Could he win a British title? I hope so. But yeah, it's hard to dislike Fraser. I definitely don't. And I hope he does all right, and I hope he comes back.
Do you think the White Rhino might be kicking himself that he weren't fit for the Big Freeze fight?
Yeah, I absolutely do. As well as the fact there was a risk that fella might have got slung out. He'd already had a couple of points thing. But yeah, he will, because Dave admitted himself. Dave quit, didn't he? Let's be honest, in that fight himself, didn't he? He didn't want enough. He probably wasn't fit enough and felt poorly because his cardio was blown out his arse. But yeah, he will be kicking himself, because look what's happened to him now.
Yeah, it's like Dave Allen could have had the Dubois fight, and he said no because he was told by Eddie and Darren Barker to ask for more money, and Bricktop stood firm. and then Joyce nipped in and filled him in.
Yeah. And the naivety of listening to Eddie Hearn, who's never been his promoter, having his ear bent just because he didn't want him to work with Bricktop.
What do you mean never had a deal with him?
He's fought with Matchroom, hasn't he? But he's never been a Matchroom deal fighter, has he?
No.
I just mean, he'll listen to that person. He should keep wiser counsel.
Yeah, he should.
Eddie Hearn's not looking out for the economic interests of Dave Allen. If he was, he'd have got more than 12 grand to get filled in by Luis Ortiz. He should have listened to wiser counsel, like I said. Yeah.
Well, the word is if he beats Johnny Fisher, Dave Allen's going to go to Queensbury.
Really? Well, they all are. The heavyweights are all moving there, aren't they? It's a place to be. Yeah.
Yeah, it is the place to be at the moment. So let's hope that Dave can perform out of his skin and that Fisher has a bad night. And then Dave jumps in bed with Bricktop.
Yeah.
Imagine that, Dave and Bricktop.
Certainly not on the script you'd have anticipated, but yeah, it's been a tough old weekend for Shalom, hasn't it? With Fraser and Ben, one guy with his jaw broke, the other guy in a wheelchair, due to what may or may not turn out to be real physical issues, but we'll see.
What did you think to size that dent inside of Fraser's head?
It made me feel a bit poorly. I felt that's why I'm glad no one said he should have fought on. It looked horrible. It didn't look normal. You know when a plate's displaced or something, then didn't like it.
Yeah. Okay. The main event after the Missy Elliott and Buster Rhymes, baby, if you give it to me, I give it to you.
I can't watch that. I flicked over. I couldn't watch that. I flicked over to BKB because the lad from Gainesville was fighting Austin Trout for the title. But I can't deal with that crap and the M&M crap. I just can't bear it. It's too embarrassing. But the main event, I really enjoyed. I think Bivol has been harshly judged, in my opinion. I know it wasn't a beatdown either way, but I think he nicked that or won that, personally. And I wanted Beterbiev to win and said Beterbiev would, but I don't think he did. And I think Bivol was far too dignified in defeat. But he is a dignified man, isn't he?
He reminded me of Robin Reed when he fought Carl Zaghi, who were dignified in a split decision loss, but Compybacks had Robin Reed romping it.
Yeah. I think our excellent friend has implied there'll be a rematch, and I hope so. But they don't need judges like that fella that had it 116-12 because that was.
What were he taking in? What were he smoking?
Probably, I think he's definitely smoked a lot of whatever he's been smoking. But yeah, Jesus. And those cards just make a mockery of the sport. But yeah, let's hope there's a rematch, and let's hope the right person wins, whoever. But I do like it was really technical. I really enjoyed watching it. Such a clever fighter. Yeah.
What did you think of the fight overall, though? The main event fight. What did you make of it?
Because it was such a spectacle for me, I liked it. I thought they might cancel each other out a little bit, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was a quality fight. I love boxing. I thought it was a quality fight myself.
Yeah. It's 21-0 now. Beterbiev, 14 January. He's not going to fight for 8-9 months, they reckon now. So he's going to be well into his 41st year. Do you think that could be him done now? Do you think he'll go one more run at it?
Don't know what his motivators are, but those two just seem to live boxing, don't they? They've got the boxing and the faith, and that's it. But he's getting your 40th year should be a farewell year if you are still fighting, particularly the way he fights.
Okay, can I ask you your opinion on these guys here? Martin Bacoli, Zhang, Parker. Do you feel that they're been discarded like rubbish?
Bacoli, Zhang, Parker. Bacoli, I like. I think he's definitely avoided. I think he's had to go and earn good wins on the road in France and America. I think he'll give kittens to nearly everyone in the ring. I think he's deceptive because he doesn't look like an ultra athlete, but like we've said before, that means nothing really, does it? What I don't want them to do is to cancel him out with a Caballel where they fight each other. They deserve to fight.
Caballel, that's the other one. Because they all seem to be discarded because they're not commercially viable, aren't they? I mean, Eddie, if you remember, Sean, let Luis Ortiz go. He let Usyk go, and he let Zhang go. All Olympians.
Yeah. Zhang, for me, I love watching him. And you know he's going to get knackered at some point as well. So you've got that excitement. But yeah, I do like watching him. I hope he carries on. Joseph Parker, man of the moment. Forget he was a WBO champion when he was about 22. Yeah, I forget that. And he fought Rui and the infamous fight with Huey. Yeah, I think he could win a fractured version of the title. He seems to have that. He seems to have had an Indian summer of his boxing career. But again, he's only in his early 30s himself. He's not one of the old boys. He's just been around longer than most of them.
Yeah. Like Huey's just turned 30, hasn't he, this last month?
Yeah.
Huey's been around years, hasn't he?
Huey's a boxer I've got the softest spot for, because I remember when he was turning over when he was a teenager. Obviously, I like Peter Fury and stuff. I just hope that he gets a chance, and because he can be. Because I remember when he came back, I know he was only the British title, when he smashed Sexton and stuff. He can be really good to watch, and I just hope his comeback continues and he gets a good fight and he accomplishes himself.
I do. Okie dokie. Well, listen, thanks for coming on, Sean. It's been
my pleasure. Loved it.
Hope you're well.
I am. Yeah, I'm feeling good, mate. Thank you for having me on again.
No problem. Well, listen, you have a great day, what's left of it.
Take care, Chief. Bye.
Cheers, mate. Bye. Well, that was Sean from Scunthorpe. Nice to have him on again. He speaks clearly. Getting a lot better. That's about it. Hopefully we'll have Jerry on tonight or tomorrow. We've got Terry Chappendama coming on tomorrow to say his bit. I'll have to catch up with Terry's takes. Terry's take, they reckon, 91 and 92 should be out any day this week. They're on backlog to go out. They're backed up, sorry, to go out. There's the Peter De Freitas one. That's in production now. Just got to stick Spartan Demolition sponsors at channel on it, and an intro I've done and an outro at end of it. So that's to go on that. And obviously I'm going to stick that JOPT shout out in. It's nice to know that pound for pound superstars, and he's in everybody's top 10 pound for pound list, JOPT. When somebody like that watches your channel, it gives me a bit of a, hey, I'm not so bad after all, am I? Okie dokie. One piece out. Off for a walk now. And who knows? I might even have a cheeky Guinness in local. Sit on my own with 2 pints of Guinness and blackcurrant and no friends, just me and my thoughts. And I might even take my pad. Just 2 pints. Something I always like to do every now and then, and just don't get mithered by anybody. All right? One pop, bang. Porky's International on YouTube. That's where it's at. Jump over there and like and subscribe and watch the videos and leave a comment and let me know what you think after you've shared them. Booyaka.